finally getting around to doing my DJI Action 2 review video. So if you haven't seen my previous videos, they were all to do with like just testing out video quality, audio quality, that kind of thing. So do check those videos out if you want to see more in-depth footage, I guess. This video is going to be about the review, so I'm going to try not to make it too long, but if you do want to skip through any parts of the video, then just go to the description and you'll see some chapters in there. If you don't know, then the Action camera is a 4K action camera. It shoots 120 FPS and it's waterproof up to 10 meters depth. After, well, for any more than that, then you need to attach a case to it, but just on its own without anything, it is waterproof. It's also dustproof and also drop proof, but I haven't tried that out because I'm actually quite scared to drop it, even though the lens and the screen are both made of Gorilla Glass, but it's still just, I just don't feel comfortable dropping it on purpose to test that out, so I haven't tried that out. But it is awesome. You've got a ultra wide field of view, so if you want to capture more in the frame, then you've got the option to do that with the ultra wide field of view. And did I mention how small this thing is? It's so small, it's awesome, it's so inconspicuous. If you wanted to just go out and this was the only camera that you wanted to have, you're going to feel more comfortable if you're one of those people that doesn't like to have like a massive setup. This camera's awesome for that. And just for capturing FPV shots as well, so you can mount it to pretty much anything because it has, you can pretty much mount it to anything because it has magnets. And you know, wearing it on your chest with the necklace or on your head with the head strap, or just mounting it anywhere really, is just really, really great. And it's so small, so you can literally put it in really tight spaces as well, which is great. In my previous videos, the first video that I did was basically just a test to see what the video quality was going to be like, and I was just trying out all the different features as well, like stabilisation, horizon leveling and that kind of thing. And yeah, the video quality is really good. I was really impressed. It's such a small camera and it's got a really small sensor, but yeah, the video quality is really, really good. I have noticed, much like I noticed with the Pocket 2, when you shoot in the normal colour profile, it's by no means unusable. You know, the normal colour profile is great, but I just prefer DCine-like because you get more dynamic range. The skin tones just seem to look a lot better with the DCine-like colour profile when you colour correct it. And I also found that to be the case with low light as well. Not so much indoors when I had artificial light, but just mainly outdoors with natural light. The skin tones just look a lot better when you use DCine-like. So yeah, video quality is awesome, but do consider using DCine-like if you're going to use the camera. And I created some LUTs for DCine-like, so when I had the Pocket 2, I mean I still have the Pocket 2, but when I got the Pocket 2 I basically created some LUTs just to make it a lot quicker when editing and colour correcting. So do check out those LUTs if you want to shoot in DCine-like. You can get the Action 2 in different combos, and the one that I went for was the dual screen combo because I wanted to have the touchscreen module. The audio quality I've noticed, and I don't know if it's because I think I need to just play around with the audio a little bit more, but the audio quality just from the camera itself alone, without the touchscreen module attached, sounds really, really good. I was actually really impressed with the quality of the audio. When I attached the touchscreen module, I definitely played around with the audio settings more, because when I put the front cameras on, the front mic, it didn't sound as good as just the microphone from the camera itself. And then I kind of played around a little bit more and I put all the mics on. That sounded okay, but then you had this like weird dual sound going on, like an echo. And then I tried it with the front and back speakers, which sounded a little bit better, but I still feel like I just need to do a few more tests with the audio. At the moment I'm using an external mic because it's quite windy, and one of the things that I did notice was, even though you've got the wind noise reduction option and you switch it on, it does cut out a lot of the wind, but if it's really windy it just doesn't cut out enough wind, so the audio just becomes unusable at that point. So I got myself a USB-C mic. It's the Rode Video Mic Me C, and so I'm hoping that because it is a windy day today that the audio does sound better, because I've got the furry windshield on as well. But I'm going to put another video together just purely on audio, just me testing, doing some more tests, trying it out more. But yeah, just the camera on its own without anything, the audio is fantastic, and with the touchscreen module the audio is still good. It's just figuring out the correct settings for it. So one thing to note about the touchscreen module is the fact that it's not waterproof. So it's great having the little camera and that being completely waterproof, but as soon as you attach the power module or the touchscreen module, it's not waterproof. You'd have to put it in an additional cage for it to be waterproof. But the touchscreen module has an SD card slot, so you can expand the storage of the camera. The internal memory of the camera is 32 gigs, so it's decent. It's enough for you to get by for the day. If you're just shooting some B-roll and if you're vlogging and stuff, it's definitely enough for you to get by, but it is also nice having that extra bit of storage, so having the SD card slot. And the other thing is, you actually need the touchscreen or the power module in order to charge the camera, which is a little bit annoying, because if you were going out all day and you were running out of battery, you would have to have multiple touchscreens if you wanted to have multiple batteries, much like, say for example, if you had the GoPro and you just got additional batteries for it. With this you would have to buy multiple touchscreens, or you'd have to buy multiple power modules. And the thing with the touchscreens is, because you're buying the touchscreen because you actually want to see yourself, so you would have to actually buy those additional touchscreens. The other thing, of course, is you could just have a power pack. So I carry a power pack around with me, and when I'm not using it, I will just plug it into the touchscreen module and just keep that charged up. So I haven't found it to be the case where I've completely run out of battery and I haven't been able to use the touchscreen. So yeah, that's just one way of getting around it. One of the things that I also noticed was that when you're transferring footage from the camera to the SD card, it is very slow. So I don't tend to do that. I just tend to transfer it directly from the camera itself. So I'll attach the touchscreen module, and then I'll plug in the USB-C cable to my PC, and then just offload the footage that way if I record to the camera's internal storage. Otherwise, I just record to the SD card and then just offload the footage that way. So I personally haven't experienced any overheating issues yet, and granted, I have been outside and the temperatures have been, between 8 degrees or up to 16 degrees, I think one of the days I was filming on, but I haven't experienced any overheating issues. I've been filming in 4K 30, 4K 60 and 4K 120. It is an action camera for me. It is an action camera, something that I would be using outdoors, and a lot of people I think would be using it in the same situation. So in terms of the overheating issues, I just haven't had any of those. I will say though that the Action 2 does get quite warm whilst it's charging. I did notice that it does get warm whilst it's charging, and whilst I was filming outdoors, it did get warm when I was filming 4K 120, but it just didn't shut off at all. It didn't stop recording for me, so pretty chuffed about that. That's what I was hoping for in this kind of shooting situation. Stabilisation's really good. RockSteady works great. I tried it with the stabilisation on and with stabilisation off, and it worked great. Horizon levelling is also fantastic as well. The only thing is with horizon leveling, you're restricted to standard field of view, whereas with RockSteady, you have access to all the different fields of view. So horizon leveling you can only use with standard, and you can only access horizon leveling when you're shooting 2.7K or 1080, and you can only go up to a maximum of 60 FPS as well. So that's something to bear in mind if you really need to use horizon leveling. When I got the Action 2, when I first got it out of the box and I started using it, it was... Obviously it didn't have the firmware update applied, so I could only shoot up to 4K 60. So when that becomes available to you within the app, do update the firmware, because there are a lot of improvements within that firmware update, and you'll also get access to 4K 120. One of the things that I forgot to mention when I was talking about overheating was that if you're in the UK and Europe, I believe it is, the temperature setting which allows you to record for longer if the camera starts to overheat is greyed out when you get to the high setting, so you can only have that set to standard rather than high. So overall, I do think it is a really great camera. I think it's so awesome that you can have this tiny little camera, which is just, the quality is just amazing. And what I want to do is actually do a video comparing this to the Pocket 2, because I know a lot of people have asked me about it, and a lot of people are unsure whether they want to get the Pocket 2 or the GoPro as well, the GoPro Hero 10, so there'll be a comparison video between that soon. But certainly with the Pocket 2, I'm curious myself to see what the difference is and what the comparisons are between them. So look out for that video and the GoPro Hero 2, GoPro Hero 10 comparison video as well. But I hope this video was useful in some way. I hope it gives you an idea of whether you would actually want to buy this camera or not buy this camera. And if it was useful, then do give it a like. And if you want to see any more videos, I'm planning on putting together a playlist of just useful videos, much like I did with the Pocket 2. So if you want to see more of those, then subscribe. But yeah, thanks for checking out this video, and see you next time.